Hi, and welcome to Ant Lab Games.
To our game show.
To our game show.
This is like my new favorite place to do videos.
It really
like,
is.
It's not our playthrough setup, but
It's comfortable.
it's comfortable.
And it's better for chats, I think.
It is. It's good for chats.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just need I feel like we need like a nice little coffee
This is like it should be our fireside chat.
It should be, except instead of a fireplace, we have just like our
bookshelf.
rainbow collection of games.
Yes, it is in color order.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Absolutely. Okay.
So, what we'd like to do today is to provide a channel update, which we haven't done since returning to this space.
Yeah.
Now, we know there's definitely some confusion out there as to us coming back and why are we posting videos and what's happening on our channel when months ago we did an exit stage left.
Yeah, like
right?
abrupt.
Like an abrupt exit due to a number of different things. But
we'll get into that.
Yeah, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole again. But what we are going to do is we're going to explain why we came back in case you're wondering. We're going to confirm that we are back and give you sort of an idea of where we're heading. And I think that's
good.
Yeah, because it's good, and I think this is a very positive, upbeat video.
Yeah.
What we're sorry for, and we are certainly sorry for this. We're sorry for leaving.
Yeah.
You know.
It always amazes me because I feel like, and actually this was part of the reason I feel like we needed that clean break was because we had really lost so much. I don't want to say faith,
Right.
but it's like we lost the sense that anybody was actually watching and enjoying what we were putting out, if that makes sense. Like, at least for me, like I knew that people were watching, obviously, like you guys watch, but I didn't understand how much of a part of everyone's lives we were. So when we kind of see now, it's like, well, I don't know if I should subscribe because, like, what if you guys leave us again?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, like, I didn't know people felt that way.
Right. So it's like, you know, we certainly feel a sense of guilt for putting people through whatever they went through with us closing down the channel or just them saying, oh well, this channel's not coming back.
But hopefully we can help explain like why we're coming back,
why we did
and why we did that, for more reasons than probably everybody is aware. So
So go ahead and tell them why we left.
Okay. So I mean, I guess there were a couple of things. I mean, obviously, you know, when Anthony and I started this years ago, and it's been at least 5 years, going on like 6 now.
Probably.
For the two of us. The community was very different. I think that there was probably less enthusiasm in the hobby than there is now, which is a great thing because it's grown so much. The content creator community was much smaller. It was much more, I'd say like, I want to say like organic or like earthy or just kind of wholesome is a word that we hear tossed around a lot.
It seemed less materialistic, less about money.
It was less, exactly.
And more about delivering quality.
It was more about just kind of like people loving games and wanting to play them and wanting to share that kind of passion for the hobby. And not that that's not happening now, because I think that it is.
In pockets, yeah.
In pockets, but it's definitely changed a lot. And within the content creator community, you know, it's become very cliquey. I'll put it out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everybody likes us. I'll put that out there too.
Sure.
Within the content creator community, and that's fine. I mean, because we're not like necessarily here to be everybody's friend in this space. Like that's not really our.
We didn't become content creators to be friends with content creators. Like, that wasn't our goal.
Which is why like some people get into content creation is because they want to have like their own network is their other content creators. So that's why they're in the space. Anyway, it becomes really difficult, and it's hard to explain this to folks that like aren't in this kind of a community. But it's really hard to escape some of the toxicity and the negativity that happens behind the scenes that you all probably don't see. And coming from a place where we were still, up until January, just doing this for fun. And by that I mean, we never considered ourselves to be content creators. We still saw ourselves as like the same couple of people who were like doing these like videos where we were standing up in front of a wall. Like that's how we always kind of continued to see ourselves. Like we didn't really see ourselves as like big name content
Well,
creators.
we didn't see the value in what we were doing.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
That's definitely, it was a problem.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, that was an issue, and so when we, you know, started, I guess I don't really know how to put this, but when we didn't feel welcome in our own space anymore,
Yeah,
it was really
I have
hard
an analogy. I
to
can
say.
make
Okay, yeah, make your analogy,
Make my analogy.
and then I'll
Imagine
explain
going
other
to
stuff.
work every day and your coworkers are in cliques, and every time you walk into the office and you know, oh hey guys, how you doing?
Right.
They're all whispering and saying bad things about you at work,
Yeah.
right? And you're just like, oh, I got to deal with this again. So you deal with that long enough, you're going to be like, you know what? I don't want to work here anymore.
Right.
Like,
well, or it's like, oh, I'm going to go tell the boss, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to tell somebody who maybe can do something about it, and then your boss is like, oh, well, that's just how they are. Just let them,
just
you know,
deal with
let
it.
them
They're
be.
fine. Go on.
You know,
And it's
you know
like,
how it is. They don't have an impact on you. Just do your job.
Yeah.
And it's like that doesn't really help
Right.
the environment.
No,
the
it doesn't
culture.
help. So that's when
Yeah.
we just said, you know what? Then if it's not going to change, we got to go because
Right.
it's too much for us.
Yeah, and it was like I said, it was just getting really toxic to the point that it wasn't it just wasn't a space where we were having fun doing what we were doing, and we always said that we are here to bring joy to you through making content. So when we're not doing that anymore, it's disingenuous. There's no point.
Yep.
So the other reason, and this to kind of like, you know, put a cap on that. The other reason, this is kind of personal to me as I hit my microphone.
Yes.
And I shared this with Anthony last night, and I don't know if I had ever shared this with you before, but you know, creating content on this channel has been something that has been at the epicenter of our relationship since before we were really even like a relationship. Like this was
Yeah.
something we did when, you know, we were, you know, just hanging out, having fun, playing games, doing the content, doing the channel. And even though we've had breaks, and this happens, I think, every time we like kind of take a break or something, I kind of go through this where I get really worried that if we didn't have the channel, like, would we be okay? Like, is this so central to, because we were at the point when we left in January where it was like, we didn't even want to play games anymore.
Right.
We didn't play games for like 3 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like, what else are we going to do? Like, this is such a huge part of us that I, you know, for a little bit was like worried, like what, it does that like somehow define us or define our relationship in a way? And, you know, when you're in that situation where like, you know, you're like either getting picked on or whatever, you're kind of getting pushed around or whatever. It's like, it's not just the annoyance of that, but it's also a fear of like, is this going to end up driving a wedge between us in a space that really brings us together?
Yeah.
Do you know what I
That's
mean?
well put. Yeah.
So that was really scary for me. But to move forward, at least for me, I kind of felt like I needed to face that and be like, well, you know, if if we can't exist without board games, then maybe we shouldn't exist.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
And you know, happily, once, you know, we cut the plug and it was kind of like we made the decision and it was sort of done and we had that clean break with no intention of coming back to this
Right.
space. And we had a chance to breathe and kind of just disconnect from all of it. We started like dreaming up other plans and dreaming up other things that we wanted to do, and like some in the board game space and some not in the board game space. And that was really refreshing and healed me so much and gave me personally like so much excitement about eventually, like once we kind of made the decision to come back, I was able to be like, well, screw everybody else. Like, let them say what they want, because if anybody tries to take this away, I know that we still have each other.
Yeah.
And we still have our games, and we still have, you know, lots of people who enjoy us. But that part was really important to me. So I felt like I kind of wanted to share that with you guys.
Yep.
As well.
For sure. And I think that break was needed. Like the cut was needed. We needed to just realize in our lives that we could walk away from this.
Yeah, yeah.
And it wouldn't cripple us, right? Like
Right.
we could move on. And we did, and we found that out. But towards the end, it started to pull us back.
Yeah,
right?
well,
and
and what
that's
happened
the
was,
allure.
it was funny because when we ended the channel, and we walked away. We still had a commitment to our mentors, our mentorship program, which we had. Oh my God, we had like 35 people from all over the world.
All over the world, yeah.
That we continued to meet with on a weekly basis. We did all kinds of really good exercises and stuff with them. Prepped them and devoted.
Mainly Francis, but just think about this: the commitment there. It was a 12-week program.
Yeah.
And Francis and I collectively devoted 1 to 2 hours a week, if not more, to this program.
And it
to 30 plus people.
It turned into more like 16 weeks at the end of it.
We kept pushing it on. So if you can get an idea of what type of commitment we gave to this group of up-and-coming content creators, it was phenomenal.
And the thing is, like, we discussed things in that program that obviously we had come to learn over the years of doing this. Mainly things like, getting your feet off the ground, understanding why you're in this. Just asking yourself that question, like, why? And it's not just because I want free board games.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why are you really doing this? And getting to the bottom of that with all these people and having them come to these realizations. They're like, wait a minute, my channel's going in a completely different direction from what I actually want to do or what kind of audience I want to curate. And watching them be so passionate about what it is they're doing and have all these very unique callings was really, really refreshing. And it made us sort of start to question, because as we're giving examples, of course, like, well, why, it helped us as well in a way.
It did.
Kind of revisit why we started doing this, why we continue wanting to do this. And in doing that, we started to really shape, like, okay, well, we kind of teased, like, if we came back, what would that look like? What were we not doing before that we would want to do going forward?
Right. How do we change what we were? Because we didn't want to come back and be what we were, because that wouldn't change anything. And,
exactly.
And we left that, and we made it a conscious decision to leave that.
Yeah.
So we had to come up with a way that we could redefine ourselves, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a big ask.
Well,
right?
and I guess, like, kind of grow into something new as well.
Yeah. So here we are.
So here we are.
So we came back, right? And we didn't post a video to explain why we're coming back. We did a little bit on our other channel, but we didn't really go, to this audience, because not everybody came over to follow us on that channel, and that's completely fine. It was a different avenue, which we'll still continue to do periodically. But right now we're trying to refocus everything on the channel. And what are let's talk about the big changes, right?
Yeah, let's absolutely.
So leading into that, so we came back with a different mindset, right?
Right.
And this is what we really, because when we talked about coming back, my one thing was like, look, if we're going to come back, we have to do it different. Like, I do not want to fall back into the same trap.
Right.
So what we decided was we're going to make this a business, and because we've never treated it like a business. It's always a hobby, and it's just for fun. We don't charge. That was our big thing.
Well, it was like, and not only that, but it was like, well, we posted when we felt like posting. We didn't really have a schedule. Like, and I think that a lot of folks that watched our channel maybe didn't understand, like, why, like, everybody else has like this, I post on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. and like, we never did that. It was just kind of like, well, I'm not feeling great tonight. Let's not make a video.
Right. And honestly, like, just we were getting burnt out on everything, and in the space we were.
Yeah.
And it's that space we were in is what held us back.
Right. So approaching this then as a business allowed us to look at it from a different perspective, and that perspective being like, if this was our work, how would we treat it?
Right.
And the answer is obviously very differently, much more organized, much more.
But you do have to admit, the quality of our content when treating it as fun versus treating it as work is very close.
Still pretty good.
So our standards didn't change. It's just a matter of how often do we want to deliver content, and in what format.
And in what format, and how are we going to do that and be fresh, right? Because I think that's, I don't know if you want to just speak to kind of, we take these walks every day.
Yeah, we do a lot of talking.
We do a lot of talking about this.
And we really plan, and we really wanted to be intentional about how we came back and what type of content we were providing. So we needed to come up with new skits. New skits, but new pieces, new segments, and new fresh content, because we're going to not do the same old playthrough reviews, because that everything out there, and I see this in a lot of people's videos recently. It's that everybody's complaining about the fakeness and the sameness, and it's just there's no people losing creativity. It is.
It's like it's everybody copying everybody else's stuff, and not that copying is bad, but it's almost as if like there's this menu of things you can do, And those are the only things that you can pick from. So everybody's sort of like, for lack of a better word, competing in this space.
Yeah. Well, the truth is, and I think this is the biggest slip up, is that content creators don't realize that if you're taking money to do this, you are competing with each other.
Well, yeah,
as much as you don't want to believe that, you are. This is your job. So if somebody else at your work, or you're competing vendors, and you're pitching for contracts, you're going against that other vendor, because if they get that job, you're not getting paid. So there's a lot of this, and you can sense the animosity about who's getting games and who's not, because they know those getting games are getting paid. So there's this rub happening now, and I think that's so now you've got a lot of this these channels that are going out there and really trying to do shock and spicy thumbnails, and like that's the way to get all the subs. And the truth is, it is like that's going to do it. But we're not really sure. Like, we didn't want to come back and do that. Come back and be, all right, we're going to do a top 20 Kickstarters every week. And top 20 games in my collection for this week. Top 20 games in my collection for next week.
Purely just to get subs.
Yeah. Every video that any channel puts out that's a list gets views.
Because all of you guys like watching lists.
Because you all like the lists, right? But that's not what we ever set out to deliver at our core.
Well, yeah. And then the thing is, and if you've known us for a while, you know that if you're with us, you're stuck with this, is that we challenge our viewers to kind of think for themselves in a lot of ways. That's why, we've always approached our playthroughs less as reviews. We don't really see ourselves as like giving reviews. I don't want to tell you what to go out and buy ever. I don't want to tell you what to back.
And I tell you what, if you're listening to a reviewer who's played the game once or twice telling you whether or not you should buy the game, you might want to rethink that strategy.
Yeah.
Honestly, because the speed at which reviews are coming out today, because content creators have so much to get through, it really doesn't showcase well in that if you get a game tonight and you're posting a review tomorrow on it, I got to be honest, like your opinion will change 4 times in the first 3 or 4 plays you have of that game. So if you can honestly give your opinion on that game in the first day, I question that.
How many times have we played Great Wall already?
Yeah, and this is really, Great Wall is a huge example, because that one we've had for a week.
We've had it for more than a week.
Maybe more than a week.
But we unboxed it.
We unboxed it, right? Because you can get it with unboxing, and you don't need an opinion for that. But we haven't reviewed it. We haven't played through it because we're still learning it. And it's not that we're slow learners. We're extremely fast learners of board games. Like, I can promise you that.
But the thing is,
it's that it's
it
about
comes with like all these expansions, all these different things. You can play it co-op. You can play it competitively. You can play it co-op with, like, against Genghis Khan.
There's like, so much in that box.
And each one changes the way that you play the game. So this is not a Great Wall review.
So,
but the point is, we had to play it. Like, we read the rules. We play the game. We read the rules again. We play it again. We read the rules a third time. We have questions. We go out to the designer. We ask the questions. We clarify something that was completely missing in the rules, right?
Yeah. These things happen.
This is kind of the process. So when you come to our table and you're watching the video, our thing has always been, we want to show you how the game plays, not necessarily like any kind of instructional
or why you should buy it.
Why you should buy it or why you should back it. Right. So,
you'll know that by watching our playthrough.
Yeah. Yep.
And you'll see, wow, that game looks like a lot of fun. I like the round structure. I like the turn structure. I like what's happening here. You're enjoying. You're having a good time. That's going to sell you the game. We don't need to do that. The game will sell itself. And if the game can't sell itself, that's not us.
Right. Exactly.
It's the game.
Yeah.
Right. Unless we're doing a really bad job demonstrating that game.
Right.
Which is why we always have the highest standards for what we do.
Right.
And what we deliver to you. And that's why it takes time.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we'll continue to do that going forward, but I think that's a good segue into kind of talking about some of the new segments that we have, and also the name of the channel, which is going to be changing.
Yes.
But we're going to do it slow so that nobody's
shocked. So we initially changed it, and then I added Ant Lab Games back onto it. So How It Plays by Ant Lab Games will become just How It Plays.
Right.
Because that's what we do at our core. And at the end of the day, if you're looking for a video on how something plays, you're not looking for Ant Lab Games. It's just, the name is the worst for SEO. So we're our own worst enemy. So we're going to fix that. We don't want to do it right away. We want to make sure that everybody is fully aware that it's happening. So when it does happen and you have our channel in your feed,
You know who it is.
unsubscribing because you don't know who these
Right.
clowns are.
Right, exactly.
So,
yeah, so we will be doing that. Ant Lab Games still exists, but it is now it's an
It's a
LLC.
registered LLC,
We're a
yeah.
business, so we can in the future do all kinds of different stuff with that, which is great.
Yep.
The channel being one of those things.
Yeah, we can actually protect our brand now,
Yep,
which is
absolutely.
very important
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we are a business.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone fool you. They're all businesses.
Right. So some of the other segments that we have that we're going to be
Mm-hmm.
bringing to you, the Pass or Play obviously has been one that has been like so much fun. And again, as we talk about these things, we're basically our MO now is whatever everybody else is doing, we're just going to like not do that.
Yeah.
or present it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So, instead of coming on here and talking to you guys like, here's the next 5 upcoming Kickstarters or like 6 Kickstarters ending this week, which is, another one of many videos of that type. We wanted to bring you kind of our take on what goes through our head, like when we're looking at Kickstarters, or in our case, a lot of times when we're looking through games that are sort of pitched to us.
Yeah.
Because this is how they're pitched to us a lot of times.
Yep.
It's like, no pictures, no, we don't know who the person is. It's just like, hey, you want to play this game? Here's some details. And it's like, okay, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
So this is something that comes really naturally to us, and so we're giving you a peek into that, and it's been really fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's something
Yeah.
that we've enjoyed doing, and we hope you enjoy watching it because we'll keep it up every week.
Yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
one thing we want to ensure you is that if you're on the fence with sticking with us, we're here again because it's a business, so we're here and committed now.
Yeah, which we never did before.
More than we ever were.
Yeah.
So. And what's funny is now that we're committed to doing it, and we put ourselves on schedules. We like to release content every week.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying making the content more now
Me
than
too.
I ever did.
Yeah, me too.
Even though now we're more obligated to do it.
We're so much more obligated.
Right, and I think that's what we needed.
And we're doing, the funny thing is like our Life Unboxed segment is a lot more work because
Yeah.
obviously we're filming a lot of the stuff that you guys never got to see. So a lot of that we already did. We're laying around the house, we're reading rules, we're cooking dinner, reading rules, we're unboxing stuff, we're reading
Yeah,
rules.
this is
we're
our
playing,
life,
we're reading,
yeah.
like this is everything you're seeing in that segment is what we do. Normally we just never film it. So being able to create content out of that I think is really cool because it is giving you a peek into what we do to prepare and how these games kind of show up in our life. And it's been exciting to do that.
Yeah.
And to kind of test our tech skills and stuff. I know somebody made a comment that like they come across as sleek ads or something
Yeah.
like
And
that.
you know what?
I'm
Hey.
like, you know what? It kind of is an ad for our channel.
It's an ad for the channel
I
more
don't
than anything else, and that's fine. We're self-promoting because no one else is.
But I'll tell you what, they're so fun to make. And I
Yeah.
enjoy, we split the editing process now, and it's so much fun to just challenge ourselves with how
I
can we do
convinced her that
this,
my
or how
editing
can we do
software
that?
is better than hers.
He got me off Adobe Premiere, and it's a whole new world for
Yeah,
me.
now
so-
she's doing all sorts of creative things, and it's like, it is
Yeah,
better, and
yeah.
and she's had to swallow her pride on that one.
I do. I had to eat crow on that.
Yeah, she really did. I remind her every time too.
It's
believe
like
me.
I show him oh, look at this cool, I'm doing this neat transition or whatever, and he's like, so you like my software now, don't you? Okay, yeah, I guess.
Hey,
it's fine.
it's working, and
Yeah.
it takes a lot of the load off of
Yeah.
me, so it's really good.
Yeah, so it is a lot of fun. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm having a lot more fun creating stuff too,
So
which is good.
this is our plan. We're gonna
Yeah.
stick with it. We're here to stay.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that it took us having to leave to come back, to
Right.
want to come back, right?
Yeah.
It took us to really do that, but to come back with a different focus and a different mindset.
It was absolutely necessary.
It was unhealthy where we were.
In the way that we did, and I think because the thing is we've taken breaks in the past,
Yep.
but every time we would take a break, we would get away from it long enough to have it not sting anymore.
Yeah.
And then we'd come right back to it. It was like a toxic relationship.
Yeah, you
right?
just keep getting
So we
back
just
in this
kept
relationship.
Getting right back into it until something else cropped up, and then it was the same thing,
Yep.
and you get sucked back in, and that was our fault. That
It
was
was
on
our
us for not
and that
realizing
was
this
that
earlier.
was us just not following our own
Advice, really,
and like
yeah.
just ignore it, right? We keep just ignore it. It's nothing. But we just needed to truly ignore it. So now we come back. We don't even care.
I'll
we
be
don't
really
even,
honest with you. Come at me.
Yeah,
Seriously.
at this point we don't care.
I feel so good about what's coming up.
Yeah.
What we're doing now, and I just feel great.
Yeah.
And it's so good. It's so refreshing.
Yeah, and just what, we're in a different headspace. We're not out to we wanted to be part of that clique. For whatever reason, I think we just
Yeah.
wanted to be accepted, right?
Everybody wants to be
does.
accepted,
Everybody wants to
right?
be accepted, but us leaving was us admitting that we don't really want that.
Yeah.
And us coming back, we don't want to be part of it.
I don't need it.
So we're good on our own. We have a lot of close friends that we trust,
We do,
and that's who we're going to stick and embrace with.
We have, honestly,
and help push them up.
We have too much coming down the pike
Yeah.
to begin to
play these games.
To worry about.
They're
that
all
stuff,
just
so.
games, and it's for people who don't have anything better to focus on.
Yeah.
Honestly. So we've got a lot more work to do.
Real work.
That we don't have time to play games anymore. So we're going to just continue to provide you the content.
Yeah.
And do what we do best. We hold two things at the top of the list, right? When we deliver content.
Yes.
The first thing being you, the viewers. Why? Because you are the consumers. You are the ones buying the board games.
Right.
The second is the publishers and the designers, because they're the ones who are creating these things for us, right? Without them, we don't play games anymore.
Right,
so
exactly.
we want you to know whether or not you should buy that game.
Yeah.
And the more of you who buy
Without
the
us
game, without us
having to
influencing
tell
that.
you that.
Yeah, you should make that decision, but we want to give you enough information to make
Right.
that decision. That's the only thing we ever want to do.
Right.
And we're not here to sell games, right? That's
Right.
just not what we do. But what happens is when we deliver it in a way that it's meant to be played and meant to be delivered,
You should know.
you're probably gonna buy it if you
should
want it,
know.
and you'll feel
Yeah.
comfortable in that decision, and you won't come back to me a week later and say, "I thought you said this was good. I hate this game."
Yeah.
Because you know exactly what you're getting out of that game by watching
Right.
our videos.
Exactly.
That's it.
Well
You're not
put.
getting my opinion on it.
Yeah.
You're getting exactly how that game
Well,
plays.
you might get our opinion too, but
Right, but that
not,
shouldn't be enough to decide what you're going to
Please
do.
don't, make decisions based on our opinion.
So I think we're in a good space, and we're very excited. We're
Yeah.
part of a really big thing coming up. We're fortunate to be part of
Which
this.
you should hear about maybe next week, but
So
stay tuned. I
might
think.
drop next
Yeah.
week. If it does, great. We're very
Yeah.
excited for this thing to come out next week. If it does, if not, we'll wait another week after that. But
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, this new project that comes out that we're part of will take off and
Yeah.
be sort of a new direction. That I think
For everybody.
I think the community
Yeah.
needs it. The community needs a new direction, and
For sure.
that's for sure. So hopefully, it gies something that's been missing for a while.
Yeah.
But all right, I think we've
right.
gone on
I think
enough.
that
I'm sure
beat
there's.
that
See if anybody's
horse.
still here. If any of you are still watching.
Just see that little thing go down.
Yeah.
But
That's
no,
okay,
but I
though.
guess to conclude, thank you all so much for your continued support and
Right.
for watching and sticking with us. And if you're on the fence, this isn't like a plea for you to subscribe. We're not begging for subscribers. We don't honestly need subscribers or anything. That's not our goal. It
Yeah.
never
What
has
happened?
been.
We read a post recently, and we've also heard from other people
Mm-hmm.
in comments. We read a post on Reddit basically that was asking if we're back, right?
Yeah.
And people were kind of confused by it. And I thought that it was probably about time we just addressed it.
Yeah, and you've been talking about doing this kind of
For a
couple
while,
days,
but
yeah.
we were just trying to get into our stride first, and I think we're definitely in our stride now.
Yeah.
So this makes sense, and I think
Yeah.
this is the best time for us to basically articulate,
Yeah, I
this.
think so too.
because it's a lot. It's a lot to unpack,
It
and
is, yeah.
it's been a road. Let me
Yeah.
tell you. But you know what? We're just trying to be good people doing good things.
That's all.
That's all.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So we got some stuff to film. So
Yeah, we do. So thanks for watching. Hope you stick around and catch all the new stuff we're putting out, because we're here. We're going to be here for the long haul.
Be all up in your face.
All up in your face. Yeah, we're not going anywhere. So here it is. All right, take
Okay.
care.
We'll see you.